Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a great start to your weeks. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different and very, very interesting. We're going to be going over a report from the Bank of America, the second largest bank in the United States. They are exceptionally bullish on crypto. Now, what does this mean? What does it mean for Bitcoin? What does it mean for the space as a whole? And of course, what does it mean for Cardano? In this video, we are going to dive into the report. It's 141 pages, so I'm going to be giving you some of the main takeaways. We are, of course, going to dive into Cardano and its lackluster price, reminding you that we are on a journey, guys, and you are yet to reach your destination. We are still exceptionally confident that you are going to get there, despite the markets being, or certainly the altcoin market being very lackluster. You guys know that we believe Bitcoin is leading the way. We've shown you this with Bitcoin dominance. We've shown you this with Cardano versus Bitcoin and a number of different metrics. We're also going to be diving into Amazon and Microsoft, and it'll become very apparent why I'm bringing this up as we read the Bank of America report. So let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday we pulled up an article from the NASDAQ talking about the fact that Cardano was going to go up in value. There's another article here that we also failed to cover, and the title is Cardano Could Be the Future of Finance. We know Grayscale believe that Cardano is exceptionally undervalued. All roads are pointing to the same destination, and this article reads, Digital Asset Primer, only the first inning. Now, what do they mean by the first inning? Well, they believe that this is just the start. Before I read to you some of the keys from this, some of the main takeaways, and really we're going to go over the summary. Bullish on long-term perspectives. Digital asset ecosystem value surges in 2021. I want to read to you a quote from Gary Gensler and what he had to say on the cryptocurrency space, because this is very, very revealing, and you guys will know, and this is going to tie into why we brought up Amazon and Microsoft at the start of the video, that we believe what's happening with blockchain technology right now is very kindred to the dawn of the internet and the stocks to come out of it. In essence, blockchain is the internet, and the cryptocurrencies are the dot-com stocks, and some of those dot-com stocks are still here today and done exceptionally well. This is what Gary Gensler had to say. I think the transformation we're living through right now could be every bit as big as the internet in the 1990s. Gary Gensler, SEC Chair 2021 on digital assets and fintech. This was from September. This article actually came out on the 4th of October, so we're a little bit late reading it out. Essentially, what inspired me to do this was I was listening to Coin Bureau, a very prominent crypto YouTuber, and he went into quite a lot of detail in this about this article, and it's very, very interesting. You know, we have all roads leading to the same destination, and that is that crypto is here to stay, and it's going to be huge and implemented in the world as we know it in a very big way. And a coin like Cardano, I believe, is positioned very, very well. What they're doing in Africa is absolutely undeniably interesting, innovative. You know, it's a wide variety of things, and not only what they're doing in Africa, but what they're doing globally is insane. And one trait that you have with the internet and the dot-com boom was that there was many internet stocks that just dropped off the face of the earth. Essentially, in the dot-com boom, you could have put anything in front of .com and it would have IPO'd and done exceptionally well. And crypto is a little bit very much the same as that. You know, anything can call themselves a cryptocurrency, issue a coin, and gain a significant market cap on the back of that. But it's the ones that have real power, real use cases, real sustainability that will, last. And something like Cardano, there's a reason we're so bullish on this token. This, of course, is Amazon in the dot-com boom. This is Microsoft. This is Bitcoin. We'll just very quickly switch the time scales. This, of course, was your 2017. And let's take a quick look at Cardano, actually, to show you, as we're showing you two internet stocks. This was Cardano back in 2017. You've got to remember it was only really released in 2017, but it had been worked on prior. And you can see you have the same thing. You have this boom and bust for Amazon, boom and bust for Microsoft, just like you had in 2017 for Bitcoin, but you can see then what happened with Bitcoin. Also with Cardano, and they're on the same trajectory. What Gary Gensler said is very true. We've often said that on the channel. We used to compare Bitcoin and Amazon at the early days of this YouTube channel, we used to go over and just say that, look, Bitcoin is essentially following the trajectory of Amazon. You can see what happened with Amazon. And one thing that's very worth noting is, can you see how volatile it was in the early days? You have these big, massive sell-offs, very similar to what Bitcoin is experiencing now. But ultimately, one thing that you want to keep your eye on was where something like Amazon, Microsoft, very similar. You have these big kind of sell-offs, where they ended up, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where blockchain is going, in my opinion. So you should be absolutely excited that you guys get to be early investors in something that's going to have such a big impact on the world. I certainly am, and I hope many of you are out there. And like I say, there's a reason we're so bullish on Cardano. We think they are very, very well positioned. We think what they're doing has real staying power, and we love the blockchain, we love the consensus, we love their peer review approach on things. We think the founders, we think Charles is fantastic, we think the team is fantastic, and we think they're very strategically placed for the kind of growth that you saw with something like Amazon and Microsoft. And in actual fact, remember, Gary Gensler said he believes it could actually be bigger than the internet in the 1990s. The dot-com boom, by the way, very quickly before I go on, I've got so much to talk about. The dot-com boom, I believe, reached about $5.5 trillion. In 2017, Bitcoin, the crypto market as a whole, at its very, very peak, got to around about 765 billion. Today, you're still only at 2.5, essentially, trillion. So there's a long way to grow. And remember, $5.5 trillion in 1990 or 1999, when the real peak of the dot-com boom was, it was worth a lot more than 5 trillion today. So there's a lot more money and liquidity in those kind of markets that can flow into the crypto space as a whole. And we've spoken to you about a number of bullish patterns that are all also indicating continuation in this market. So some of the main takeaways, guys. Digital asset ecosystem value surges in 2021. At $2.1 trillion, the digital asset ecosystem aggregate market value is now larger than the GDP of Italy or Canada. We expect further value creation as Bitcoin is increasingly adopted. Alternatively, coins/tokens enable new applications, and a pipeline of venture capital-backed private companies reach public markets. Bullish on long-term prospects. Despite potential regulatory headwind, maybe tailwind ultimately, I actually agree with what they're saying here. I think it's not necessary. It might seem like headwind at the moment, but it's that regulatory clarity that's going to push this space to where it needs to go. It's that kind of green light from the regulators that is going to be, there are, of course, going to be some casualties of regulations, but there's going to be many winners, and those winners, Cardano is very well positioned, and Charles has spoken about this in a number of occasions where he talks about KYC and how we can build that into the blockchain, whether you think that's a good thing or not. Certainly from a regulatory point of view, it's fantastic. Anyway, I'll read on before I bore you all to death. We are bullish on the long-term prospects for the digital asset ecosystem as it enters the mainstream. We anticipate significant growth as digital asset use cases move beyond Bitcoin's store of value thesis to an industry characterized by product innovation, regulatory clarity, increased institutional participation, and mainstream adoption. So he's talking about altcoins there. Bitcoin was the first. It has that regulatory clarity, essentially. We know we had the Bitcoin Futures ETF, which is a derivative of an ETF, and an ETF essentially is a derivative of Bitcoin. You've got that regulatory clarity for Bitcoin, and because it was the first, it doesn't always mean that it's the best. Bitcoin essentially is old technology. I don't agree with Bitcoin maximalism at all. I think in terms of blockchain and its evolution, Bitcoin is kind of at the back of the pack, whereas you've got coins like Ethereum that came after Bitcoin, essentially looked at Bitcoin and said, how can we innovate this and improve it? And then you've got coins like Cardano, which essentially are a third generation. Ethereum is moving to a third generation with ETH2, and they're moving to proof of stake, etc., etc. It does cover things like proof of stake, proof of work. It covers the kind of economy side in here. It's very, very interesting. 141 pages. I'm about halfway through it. I will finish up reading the rest of it tonight when I get a little bit of time. So it's difficult to overstate how transformative blockchain technology, digital assets, and the thousands of decentralized apps that have yet to be created could potentially be. We expect rapid change to the current market structure. New use cases will be discovered and others will be discarded. Remember what Cardano had go on the 12th of September? They had smart contracts turned on. This is what they're talking about. The dApps, the application, the DeFi, the RealFi, the CeFi to come out of these blockchains. We are still so early as a space, regardless of a $2 trillion market cap. In terms of where we are and where we're going, you should be absolutely excited, guys. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I am personally taking. I am all in crypto. Of course, we aren't always going to be all in crypto. We're always going to be in the space, but there is going to come a point in time where you do need to sell and get out. I have worries about the way the space is moving. We're making a longer video where we're going to talk about the fact that there are downside to a lot of what's going on, but we're a long way from getting to that point. There's a lot of money that needs to flow into this space until we get there. They go on. We are bullish on the digital asset theme for the following reasons. We are only in the first innings of a major chain in applications across most industries that will take place over the next 30 years. So they're looking at this as a long-term play. I believe cryptocurrencies are here to stay, along with these guys. In our view, estimates indicate that about 221 million users globally as of the 12th of June 2021 have traded a cryptocurrency or used a blockchain-based application, up from 66 million at the end of May 2020. So 221 million, of course that figure would have grown by now. It's still exceptionally small in the amount of people on the planet. We know that there's a lot of people that don't even have internet access, don't even have basic what we consider necessities or fundamental things. But blockchain is actually also working to onboard these people. It's working to globalize the world, which has many negative connotations as well as positive. Due to technological advances in decentralized software that is native to the internet, a new medium with distributed ledger technology and blockchain at its core is emerging rapidly. The applications built on this new software architecture appear to be growing more quickly than the past technologies. That's because we live in more an accessible world. You know, it's a good thing as well as a bad thing for many reasons. I don't want to go into the whole kind of network effect and stuff like that, but there's a lot more network effect that can take place now. A meme can go viral overnight, and this is applicable to the adoption of blockchain technology. So where were we? The applications built on this blah blah blah. New companies are likely to emerge and poorly positioned companies will exit, creating significant upside potential for some and downside for others. Now, this is why we like Cardano so much. I see this as having real staying power, ladies and gentlemen. I see Cardano as being one of these blockchains that withstand the test of time. There are many out there today that you hear about that are accruing large market caps that will not exist in the exact same way that in 2017 I watched many projects, I was invested in quite a few of them, rise up with the tide of the market, the overall crypto space going up in value, and then dropping off the face of the earth. And that's something you've got to bear in mind. Okay, if you're just here for this year, ride the bull run out, maybe we get an extended cycle and you want to sell, sure, do what you want. But if you want to be an investor, somebody who's in here for a longer kind of time horizon, if you could go back and invest in Amazon back here, when would you have sold? If you had hindsight in 2020 vision, you'd probably have sold up here, ladies and gentlemen. And that's without knowing what the future really holds for us. I'll finish reading this off. It goes into what the kind of adoptional curve will be. There's lots of very interesting things in this article. While we acknowledge concerns about the speculative digital asset trading that takes place currently, we believe it's the underlying blockchain technology driving the speculation, and that could be revolutionary. You're a part of a technological revolution, ladies and gents, and you know, I don't think people quite realize how lucky they are to be positioned here right now watching this video. I mean, not just this video, but you know, being educated and aware of what's going on. It goes into lots and lots in this article. Digital asset ecosystem, it talks about some. You know, this is the kind of flow of money into market. Number of US companies that mention a digital asset keyword, it's gone through the roof, guys. And this is where you're going to see your trillions flow into the crypto space with these big institutional investors. Remember, you've not even seen Wall Street start to monetize crypto yet. The dot-com boom was largely led by Wall Street pushing really bad deals onto people like me and you, passing them off in the same way that the housing crisis was also pushed largely by Wall Street and the derivatization of debt. This is all still to come. You're still very, very early, guys, and you should be stoked to be on this journey. You know, we're going to move at the end of this year potentially very heavily into Cardano, and that's because I believe, certainly if we do enter a bear market and follow the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, which is also a very interesting concept, because what happens if we do follow the 4-year cycle theory to a country like El Salvador that has adopted Bitcoin as a currency? Very interesting. That's for another video. I will be covering that. But that's largely all I have for you today. I wanted to move away from this boring, lackluster price action. I want to reiterate this to you guys. It is coming. You are going to get that breakout. This is what Cardano does, ladies and gentlemen. You're on a journey right now, guys. I'm not in my usual location, so the internet may be somewhat slow here. You're on a journey, guys. And ultimately, we believe that you've got that destination of around about $7.50 to $10 this year. And I actually believe you could significantly outperform that. And certainly that's just this year. Remember, there's years to come after that. We'll pull up our Elliott wave theory. This is just where we're expecting this to get this year. You're going to go above and beyond that. And where you are right now, guys, it's been a long day for me, ladies and gents, is essentially, can you see, this was your, we'll put this back on quickly, your 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, 4 wave, and 5 wave. You've finished your 5 wave, and you're setting up your 3rd wave, or your 5th wave in the exact same way that you set up your 3rd wave. Can you see what happens here, guys? This is your 1 wave, you have this sell-off, then you have a rise, you come back down again. Can you see this? 3rd wave, you sell off into your 4th wave, this was your 2 wave, you come back up, come down, let things catch up before you get that next impulsion. And that is coming, guys. It's going to be a spectacular year, and I hope you're all along for the ride. I'm going to love and leave you on that note, ladies and gents. I hope you've all had a fantastic Monday. Remember, we do have the All-In Crypto stake pool. We are looking for people to delegate to the stake pool. We're trying to get to the point where we can start minting blocks and actually participating in helping run the network. So any delegations, you know, if you guys choose to delegate to the pool, it's much appreciated. We've got a Discord server that I'm going to send invites out for tomorrow. We're also going to start doing getting hands-on in regards to charity and give people a feel-good factor of staking with All-In Crypto. The name of the pool is All-In. We have a 0% margin, and I don't believe it's going to be long until we get to that point where we start minting blocks, and we can all stake happily ever after. That's all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic Monday, and I'll catch you in the next one.